Okay, yes. The second concept that we'll look at is the layers concept. This is a little bit confusing, but it's also one of the most important ones when you are working with Photoshop. Okay, so in your workspace, if you look on the right side and on the bottom, you'll see this panel that's called layers. This little button right here is a button that you use to add more layers. Okay, so when I click on it, as you can see, I see layer 1, layer 2, and layer 3. This trash can right here is where you would delete your layers. So I'll leave layer 1 up for now. And how this works, essentially, when I draw on the background, so I wrote these texts right here on the background, but this layer 1 that I just added has nothing. So what that means is if I disable the background layer by clicking on this little eye thing here, then I lost the white background and I lost the text because I disabled it. Whereas if I disable layer 1, then nothing happens because there's nothing on layer 1. However, if I start drawing on layer 1 and then disable it, then that drawing disappeared. Yeah, I'll add another layer here. It'll be layer 2, and I'll start drawing just a big circle. And then what I want you to notice here is that depending on how you arrange your layers on this panel, then you can change how your drawings interact with each other. And what that means is if I put layer 1 above layer 2, then that red ink drawing on layer 1 will show up on top of the blue blotch that was on layer 2. Okay, and again, if I disable layer 1, then that drawing disappeared. If I disabled layer 2, then the blue blotch disappeared. Okay, so the question then is, why would you want to even use layers? There are many reasons that you want to use it. One that I can think of is if you have a complex drawing, then you can separate that drawing so you can work on the item one by one. And what I mean by that is, let me delete these layers first. I'll start a new layer. So for example, if you're drawing a scenery, say you have mountains, you have you have the sun, whatever, and you have like some road coming up towards it. So depending on how detailed you want your things to be, then you might want to work on it separately. So instead of just doing that, I can do, for example, okay, I start a new layer, layer 2, and say I'll call it the sun. Then I can draw the sun on just one layer here. And then I can work as much on it as I want to, and then oops, where'd it go? There it is. Okay, and then I'll work on a new layer. I added a layer, okay, layer 2, and I'll call it mountain. Disable layer. Okay, so there's the sun on the sun layer. Now I'll work on the mountain. Say change the green. I'll change the color to green, and say I'll work on my mountain like this. And then I'll say I would go in and add as much detail as I want to the mountain. And then I'll have a new layer and call it road. Then something like that. So basically having these layers allowed me to work on the items individually, so that if something were to be off, for example, like I don't like how my mountain looks, then I don't have to when I erase the mountain, then I don't have to worry about accidentally erasing the sun or the road, because when I only select the mountain layer, then I can't erase the sun or the road because those layers are not selected. So that's one reason why you would want to use layers. And another reason too might be because you have a lot of shapes, and you want to be able to arrange which shape goes in the front, which shape goes in the back, that kind of thing. So if I have my sun layer above the mountain layer, so then I can change whether the sun will be in front of the mountain or behind the mountain. Obviously it doesn't make sense in this example, but you might use that in other examples. So that's it. That's how layer works, and also some example as to why you would want to use layers instead of just working on one layer.